thank you so much for being with us. I know it's early for you, but talk to me about Saturday night. Why is this a must-watch?
This is a must-watch because you have one guy that wants to prove to the world that he's able to jump weight classes and be up there with the likes of a Sugar Ray Leonard, like a Floyd Mayweather, like a Roy Jones, and so many others that have jumped different weight classes and tested their skills. This is a must-see because, both guys are relentless. One guy, power puncher, heavy hitter. Another guy will never quit and come straight ahead with the will to win. So when you got two guys like this in both with that killer attitude, it's going to be a great fight.
He's the most exciting because he is vulnerable, because he's not unbeatable. He's got crazy fast twitchies, he can box, but he's so aggressive and he's vulnerable enough to counters that it's actually excitement.
Floyd Mayweather just picked his fighter for the biggest boxing matchup of 2026, and his choice is about to spark the most heated debate in combat sports. While sitting across from Max Kellerman, Money Mayweather didn't hesitate for a second when asked about Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. He went all in on Shakur, calling him not just good, not just talented, but the absolute best fighter in his entire weight class. And here's what's wild about this endorsement. It's coming from a guy who built his entire legacy on defense-first boxing. Mayweather sees something in Stevenson that mirrors his own path to greatness. He's praising Shakur's elite defense, that razor-sharp boxing IQ, and what he calls a complete skill set that separates champions from pretenders. But when Floyd Mayweather puts his reputation behind a fighter like this, you know the boxing world is about to lose its collective mind.
130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But the most skillful fighter at 135.
But Max Kellerman wasn't having any of it. The moment Mayweather finished his praise, Kellerman came back swinging with reality checks that hit harder than body shots. He's pointing out something that casual fans might miss but hardcore boxing analysts can't ignore. Shakur Stevenson is naturally smaller than most fighters in his division. We're talking about a guy who's facing opponents with longer reach, heavier frames, and more natural power. And here's the kicker that Kellerman really hammered home: Stevenson isn't known as a big puncher. In a sport where one shot can change everything, where knockout power can overcome technical deficits, Kellerman is essentially saying Shakur is bringing a scalpel to a sledgehammer fight. This isn't just analysis. This is Kellerman throwing down the gauntlet and challenging everything Mayweather believes about modern boxing.
Division belt holder, but he's the naturally smaller guy moving up.
And get this, Kellerman doubles down by claiming Teofimo Lopez is the more exciting fighter because of his explosive style and complete unpredictability. Think about what that means for a second. We're not just talking about entertainment value here. In boxing, excitement usually translates to danger, and danger means knockout potential. Kellerman is painting a picture where Lopez represents everything fans crave: that explosive power that can end fights in the blink of an eye, that unpredictability that keeps you on the edge of your seat wondering what happens next. But here's where Kellerman drops a psychological bomb that changes everything. He admits that knowing Shakur Stevenson has the technical skill to potentially beat Lopez makes this matchup even more thrilling to watch. It's the classic boxer versus puncher dynamic, but with stakes that could reshape the entire division.
You believe there's a chance the other guy can win, and that makes it even more exciting, to say nothing of the pace he sets, the level of action, the level of bombs that are thrown as he fights better opposition, the number that will be coming back.
Now here's where things get absolutely wild. Stephen A. Smith jumps into this debate and completely sides against Floyd Mayweather. We're talking about Stephen A., who rarely disagrees with boxing legends, directly challenging Money Mayweather's judgment. Smith brings up Lopez's absolutely devastating performance against Vasily Lomachenko, a fight that shocked the entire boxing world and announced Teofimo as a legitimate superstar. Smith isn't just making casual observations here. He's breaking down that Lomachenko fight like it's gospel, pointing to specific moments where Lopez showed championship heart, elite-level adjustments, and the kind of killer instinct that separates good fighters from great ones. When Stephen A. Smith says Teofimo Lopez would be his choice in this matchup, he's not just picking a fighter. He's betting his entire reputation as a combat sports analyst on Lopez's ability to overcome Stevenson's technical advantages.
He can fight, he's a champion, he's got a lot of heart. I respect where you're coming from with him because he's up there. But when I think about Lopez and what we saw against Lomachenko, we saw his boxing ability, we saw his elusivity, and we know what he's got in terms of power in both hands, and he comes forward. It ain't like he backs up. He stalks you too, and he comes to finish you. When I think about Tyson comparisons, when I think about knockout power, when I think about excitement, when I think about those things, I think about Teofimo.
But wait, it gets even more interesting. Kellerman poses a question that cuts to the heart of modern boxing promotion and fan engagement. He asks Mayweather directly why he believes Shakur Stevenson is more popular with audiences compared to Teofimo Lopez. This isn't just about fighting ability anymore. This is about marketability, about who puts butts in seats and generates pay-per-view buys. Kellerman is essentially challenging Mayweather to explain what makes fans connect with Stevenson when Lopez seems to have all the ingredients for stardom: the power, the charisma, the exciting fighting style. It's a brilliant question because it forces everyone to examine whether technical brilliance actually translates to commercial success in today's boxing landscape. And honestly, Mayweather's answer could reveal everything about how he views the current state of the sport versus its commercial future.
Why do you think he's been able to connect with a crowd? Because he draws real crowds when he fights. That's hard to do in boxing. He gets announced at Ravens games, and he gets a big ovation, right? And now he's already fighting on pay-per-view.
His aura, people like him. That mean streak he got, he got a boyish look. I mean, he's very marketable. As far as when you look at him, he's marketable, but when the big...
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez himself is making it crystal clear that he's not just ready for this fight. He's been preparing for this moment his entire career. In his interview with Max Kellerman, Lopez radiates the kind of confidence that either comes from supreme preparation or dangerous delusion. And honestly, it's hard to tell which one. He's talking about his power, his strategy, his mental preparation like a man who's already visualized every possible scenario this fight could present. But here's what's really fascinating about Lopez's approach. He's not just motivated by winning. He's motivated by proving something to himself and the entire boxing world. This isn't about defending a title or making money, though both of those matter. This is about a fighter who believes he's destined for greatness and sees Shakur Stevenson as the final obstacle standing between him and legendary status.
With this type of fight and this type of magnitude of a fight, I have everything and all the attributes to beat this guy. This is great, man. This is great for the sport. We're both going to come into it.
And this right now is absolutely huge for understanding how this fight plays out. Lopez welcomes what he calls the clash of styles, and his breakdown reveals everything about his fighting mentality. He's talking about his aggressive power-punching approach like it's a weapon designed specifically to destroy Stevenson's technical defensive mastery. Lopez isn't intimidated by Shakur's reputation. He's excited by it. He sees it as the perfect test, the kind of stylistic matchup that creates legendary performances and career-defining moments. What's wild is how Lopez frames this challenge. He's not hoping to survive Stevenson's technical brilliance. He's planning to overwhelm it with raw aggression and calculated violence. It's the kind of mindset that either leads to spectacular victories or devastating defeats, with absolutely no middle ground.
You are a big lightweight compared to him, but you like to mix it up. It's not like you have the longest reach and like to box from outside. You like to fight. How do you see this as a matchup of styles?
Style-wise and everything, I know, they call them high-tech. They do all those things like that, but I'm the type of fighter that
Here's something that might surprise you about Floyd Mayweather's relationship with Shakur Stevenson. This isn't just casual admiration from one boxer to another. Mayweather has been following Stevenson's career for years, consistently praising not just his skill and defense, but that boxing IQ that separates good fighters from potential Hall of Famers. And get this, Mayweather revealed that he would have loved to sign Shakur to his promotional company. Think about what that means. We're talking about a guy who's been extremely selective about the fighters he associates his brand with. Someone who understands the business side of boxing better than almost anyone alive. When Mayweather says he wanted to sign Stevenson, he's not just recognizing talent. He's identifying someone he believes can generate serious money while maintaining the kind of technical excellence that builds lasting legacies.
Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he needs.
But here's what's really telling about Shakur Stevenson's mindset going into this massive fight. While everyone else is getting caught up in predictions and trash talk and media hype, Stevenson remains absolutely calm in pre-fight interviews. He's emphasizing that his goal isn't to make statements or generate hype for social media clips. His focus is laser-focused on delivering a strong performance, defending his belts effectively, and proving his skill decisively when the lights are brightest and the pressure is most intense. This kind of mental approach either reveals supreme confidence or dangerous complacency. Stevenson is betting that his technical preparation and natural ability will be enough to handle whatever Lopez brings to the ring. It's the mindset of a fighter who's never been truly tested by someone, with Lopez's combination of skill and power.
The main thing is, what are you expecting to see from Teofimo Lopez? Anything you haven't seen before from him?
Nah, he the truth. I understand what I'm getting myself into. I know that he's a great fighter. I believe that I'm the better fighter. So at the end of the day, come January 31st, we're going to find out.
A lot of people, when they talk about their opponents, look to disparage them. You don't want to do that. You just call them the truth. You respect him as a fighter. What do you expect about him?
At the end of the day, I'm an honest fighter. I sit down, I watch, and I see who's good and who's not. And when I watch him, I think he's a great fighter. So me being honest with you, that's all cool. But at the end of the day, once again, I will come out victorious.
The big narrative surrounding the last fight was the whole Tom and Jerry aspect of it. We're expecting to see you stand in front of Teofimo Lopez. And
I can't tell y'all how I'm going to fight. Why would I tell you? If I tell you, that means I'm telling him. So at the end of the day, it'll be a surprise for him, and just come in on fight night and I'll be ready.
Okay, who else?
This is Johnny Boy. What do you do better than Tio?
Now listen to this breakdown from Malik Scott, because it reveals everything about the tactical chess match happening behind the scenes. Scott is specifically advising Teofimo Lopez to avoid playing into Stevenson's defensive strengths, which sounds simple, but represents one of the most complex strategic challenges in modern boxing. Scott is essentially telling Lopez to resist his natural instincts to hunt for the perfect shot, and instead focus on imposing his will through constant pressure and volume punching. He's warning Lopez about getting caught in overly technical exchanges that favor Shakur's defensive mastery. This advice cuts to the heart of the entire matchup. Lopez needs to turn this into a street fight, while Stevenson wants to conduct a technical symphony. The fighter who successfully imposes his preferred style and pace will likely control the entire fight.
Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. And right now I'm going to break down what Shakur does very well, but also what Tio needs to avoid, and why this has all the makings of being an all-time great fight. We're just going to start with the southpaw jab in the lab from my perspective in full detail. Shakur has one of the best jabs in the business, in my opinion, especially from a southpaw standpoint, because what he do as fighters has this rocky, back and forth place before they about to do offense. Shakur always catches it and hit you with the beautiful jab right there. He has a great measure of distance with it. And like I said, he has good timing with it because he catch when a guy wants to attack, you're rocking, you want to be front foot heavy, and the jab get there every time. He catches guys the minute that they want to attack from their front foot, and he stops their momentum with that very quick, snappy jab from a southpaw standpoint. This is something that Tio have to avoid, that quick jab. As you can see here, when Tio was going against Ortiz, he fighting the southpaw with your lead hand down. That's a tragedy. Why is it a tragedy? Because you're closer to their lead hand. And don't forget, guys, I just told you, Shakur has a very, very good jab. So that means Tio lead hand down, going into offense against Shakur, going with his lead hand down, he's open for the jab.
According to boxing insiders and longtime analysts, This Stevenson versus fight represents everything fans have been craving. A legitimate Ennies between two fighters in their prime with contrasting styles and championship-level skills. The clash of approaches promises the kind of excitement that creates instant classics and generates highlight reels that get replayed for decades. But here's where the promotion has completely dropped the ball. Despite having all the ingredients for a massive pay-per-view event, the marketing and build-up hasn't matched the fight's actual significance. We're talking about a potential Fight of the Year candidate that's being promoted like a routine title defense. It's the kind of promotional malpractice that leaves money on the table and fails to educate casual fans about why they should care about this matchup.
Saturday with Teo and Shakur.
Whoever God wants to win. But, you know, it's a that's a great fight for boxing because, I mean, it's a fight that's long, you know, it's one of those fights that's been long overdue that people have been waiting.
With the fight finally official and anticipation building throughout the boxing community, experts from every corner of the sport are weighing in with predictions that reveal just how divided the boxing world really is. Jaron Ennies, who knows a thing or two about elite-level boxing, offered a prediction that should make Teofimo Lopez's team extremely nervous. Ennies believes Stevenson will completely dominate this matchup, predicting something like a 9-3 rounds advantage in Stevenson's favor. But here's what makes Ennies' analysis so compelling. He's not just picking based on style preferences. He's breaking down specific technical advantages, particularly Stevenson's mental discipline and precise understanding of distance control. Ennies explains that these skills allow Shakur to dictate pace and neutralize Lopez's offensive weapons over the course of 12 rounds. It's the kind of detailed breakdown that suggests Stevenson's advantages might be more significant than casual observers realize.
Facing Teofimo Lopez, a guy that, you know, you were in talks about fighting before you jumped to 54. What'd you think of that fight?
That's a good fight. You know, it's a good fight. Two top guys fight each other. I think Shakur gonna cook him. I ain't gonna lie. I think Shakur gonna cook him 9-3.
9-3?
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about, like, is it competitive early or is it just?
It might be competitive early, but I think Shakur just gonna like start breaking him down like mentally and stuff like that. I don't think Teo like mentally there sometimes.
What is it about Shakur that's difficult?
I just think with these guys, I think Shakur, like, he knows distance well, and I don't think the other.
But Ennies also acknowledges boxing's inherent unpredictability, noting that a stoppage remains possible if Stevenson can maintain consistent pressure and gradually break down Lopez's defensive structure. His advice to Stevenson is brilliantly simple. Stevenson, stay true to your style, ignore outside opinions and criticism, and execute your game plan without getting drawn into Lopez's preferred type of fight. Ennies is essentially telling Stevenson that he already possesses all the tools necessary for victory, but only if he resists the temptation to prove something to critics who want more aggressive, fan-friendly performances. It's advice that could determine whether Stevenson wins a clear decision or gets caught trying to satisfy people who will never appreciate his technical approach anyway. By keeping things simple and trusting his natural abilities, Stevenson can secure victory while minimizing the unnecessary risks that have derailed other technically superior fighters.
Same decision. Could a stoppage be on the table? Because you said, like, frustrate him.
Yeah, for sure. A stoppage is always in the works. You know, these guys fighting with ounces on no head gear. Anything can happen in boxing.
So what does Shakur have to do to be successful against a Teo?
Just be himself. Be him. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to these fans. Don't listen to these haters, these saying daughters. Just be him. Do what he do best, and that's one.
Yeah. Is that a situation where you keep it simple, keep it boring?
Keep it simple and win. Yo, that's all. Get home safely to your family, bro. Keep it simple and just win.
Is this the kind of fight dudes like Shakur, dudes like Devin, Gervonta, y'all get a lot of criticism for it seems like performances, opponents, etc. Is this the performance, or is this the fight that'll shut up the naysayers?
For Shakur?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, but you know you're gonna always have them people in the background.
Here's where things get really interesting. Regis Prograis drops a prediction that's equal parts psychological analysis and fight breakdown. Prograis believes Shakur Stevenson will mentally break Teofimo Lopez during their fight, and his reasoning reveals everything about the mental warfare happening before these fighters even enter the ring. According to Prograis, while Lopez possesses undeniable athletic ability and has shown he can rise to meet big moments, he's also demonstrated inconsistency and psychological struggles that could become major liabilities against a fighter like Stevenson. Prograis is painting a picture where Shakur's disciplined style, sharp counterpunching, and relentlessly consistent performance gradually frustrate Lopez and wear him down mentally as rounds accumulate. The prediction suggests that Stevenson will weather whatever early storm Lopez brings, then systematically dismantle his opponent's confidence and game plan. Prograis sees Stevenson pulling away after the early rounds and winning decisively on points, because Lopez will struggle to make necessary adjustments once his power shots stop landing cleanly.
Just looked at the gym the other day about the fight and stuff like that. He was like, man, like, he was talking about Teo, and, you know, he was like, man, Shakur's never fought nobody like Teo. He's never fought nobody that fast. He's never fought nobody that explosive, that powerful. And when Shakur gets hit, you know, what's going to happen? I just feel like Shakur is, defensively, he's really, really good as a southpaw defensively. But Teo is nice too. Teo is a real nice fighter. I just say Shakur because I think that with Teo, bro, we just don't know what Teo gonna show up. You know, like sometimes Teo is mentally, you know, he does shine in big fights. That's one thing about Teo. You know, with Josh Taylor, with Lomachenko, you know, he shined in those big fights and stuff like that. But then sometimes he'll struggle. You know, of course he lost against Kambosos. All the stuff was going on with Claggett, with Sandor Martin. You know, and he got other people that he kind of struggled with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that. But Shakur, I think that Shakur.
But hold up. Prograis also acknowledges the elephant in the room that makes this fight genuinely dangerous for Stevenson. There's a real possibility that Teofimo Lopez scores a knockout, especially early in the fight when his power and aggression are at peak levels. Prograis admits that Lopez's physical strength and explosive punching power make him legitimately dangerous for any fighter in the division. If Lopez lands clean shots during the opening rounds, his knockout power could completely change the fight's trajectory and potentially stop Stevenson before his technical advantages have time to accumulate. It's the kind of honest analysis that recognizes both fighters' paths to victory, while acknowledging that boxing's unpredictability means anything can happen when elite fighters collide.
Like when you're not hitting nobody, you missing, they just tagging you or something, you could break them. But at the same time, yes, I think that Teo could potentially. He's sharp, he's fast, and he hits hard too. So it'll be a good fight. I just think that. I don't know. I just think that's Shakur. It'll be shocked. I'll be shocked, bro. If Teo could beat Shakur, I'll be shocked, basically. Because I think Shakur is supposed to win.
Is Teo the type of, with his style, because he's got to be one of the most athletic fighters, like, in the world right now.
Yeah.
So is he the type of guy where it's just like, yeah, his athleticism, he'll throw some shit at you where you just do not see it coming. That's maybe the type of style where it's just like, Shakur's amazing defensively, but damn, maybe he didn't see this coming, didn't see that coming. His punch.
The ones that hurt you, the ones that knock you out, the ones you don't see coming, is the ones that knock you out. So
now here's Teofimo Lopez's perspective, and it reveals everything about his mindset and approach to this career-defining moment. Lopez makes it crystal clear that his main focus isn't just participating in a big fight, it's defending his world title and continuing to build his legacy at 140 pounds. He emphasizes respect for Stevenson as a fighter while firmly believing in his own superior athletic ability. Lopez's approach to the fight is fascinatingly mature. While fans and analysts debate styles, strategies, and potential knockouts, he's focused on letting his skills speak for themselves when the bell rings. Here's what's really smart about Lopez's mental approach. He mentions that trying too hard to force a knockout can backfire, so he prefers to let opportunities develop naturally while staying disciplined and ready to capitalize. It's the mindset of a fighter who's learned from experience and understands that the biggest moments require patience combined with explosive execution.
Just like I said, man, focus. ready to do what I got to do, my assessment on my part Saturday night, and we will be victorious.
For the win of this fight, where do you think that takes them? Pound for pound, it's just in general with boxing fans.
It's up to you all. You guys got that power. For me, my power is just to do what I got to do on that night, Saturday night against Shakur Stevenson, and you know, keep my belts, retain my belts, defend my belts, and just keep it moving. Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Would it be Theo bring the pain Lopez night?
Yeah, we bring the pain, man. Bring back the pain. So that's what we're doing, man.
Lopez frames this fight as having major historical significance, comparable to some of boxing's most memorable and career-defining matchups. He acknowledges the media attention, fan expectations, and hype that naturally surround high-profile fights, while understanding that this moment could have lasting impact on his career trajectory and ultimate legacy. But here's what separates Lopez from fighters who get overwhelmed by big moments. He emphasizes the importance of filtering out distractions and avoiding getting caught up in external opinions or media narratives. His focus remains on the tangible aspects he can control rather than the noise surrounding the fight. Lopez views this matchup not just as a challenge to overcome, but as an opportunity to solidify his reputation and establish himself among the sport's elite performers. When you consider the magnitude of this fight and everything it means for both careers, Lopez's mental preparation might be just as important as his physical conditioning.
Right, you're number one at 140, ring champ. He isn't the ring champ at 135. There isn't one right now, but he'd probably be considered the number one guy at 135. When you think about boxing history, I know you know your boxing history. What can you compare this fight to in terms of previous matchups, and what do you think it means for you guys in terms of the legacy you set going forward?
I think from the grand scale of it all, it can kind of be like a Loma situation, just now with the community, that's all. So I think that's all that plays with it, and really, my job really is just to cut off the noise and do what I got to do. And then seeing all that with what they're saying, and I mean, this is a big fight, man. It's a magnitude fight, and we're.
But here's where the criticism starts flying, and it's directed squarely at Shakur Stevenson's fighting style and fan appeal. Multiple critics argue that Stevenson's approach can be predictable and lacks the entertainment value that draws casual fans and generates pay-per-view purchases. Boxing commentators describe his hit-and-move, defense-first strategy as a repetitive punch-and-run pattern that he uses consistently, especially against pressure fighters, rather than adapting his offensive approach to create more exciting exchanges. Voices throughout the boxing community have labeled Stevenson's style as boring or too similar from fight to fight, suggesting it lacks the consistent aggression and knockout power that creates highlight reels and viral moments. This narrative centers on perceptions that Stevenson prioritizes technical perfection and point scoring over the kind of aggressive pressure and finishing instinct that generates mainstream appeal. It's criticism that could impact his marketability and earning potential, regardless of how many fights he wins or titles he accumulates.
He steps up at the big ones. So I am less inclined to be concerned about the version of Teofimo that's going to turn up on Saturday than I am with Shakur, because Shakur always fights the same way. Low output, brilliant. The art of the game is to hit and not get hit. Shakur Stevenson's the guy. If you're reading a textbook of how to do the hit and not get hit, he's the master of it, right? But does that always lend to a fantastic watch? No, it doesn't. I'm unsure, mate, if I'm honest right now. I don't want to put my flag in the sand and say this is going to be a barn burner, because I'm not convinced that it will be a barn burner. I think it's going to be really tight, really, like I said at the start of this, a thinking man's fight of which the odd mistake here and there is going to there.
So here's my question for you, and this is where everything comes together. We've got Floyd Mayweather backing the technical master, Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith favoring the explosive puncher, and experts split down the middle on their predictions. We've got one fighter who prioritizes technical perfection and another who brings knockout power and unpredictability. This isn't just about who wins a fight. This is about what direction boxing takes and what fans really want to see when they spend their money on pay-per-view events. Do you think Shakur Stevenson's technical brilliance will be enough to overcome Teofimo Lopez's power and aggression? Or will Lopez's explosive style prove that excitement beats technique when the stakes are highest? Drop your predictions in the comments and let me know who you think takes this fight and why. If this breakdown helped you understand what makes this matchup so compelling, smash that like button Subscribe to the channel for more boxing analysis, and hit the notification bell because this fight is going to generate reactions that you won't want to miss. I'll see you in the next one.